Welcome back. If we're just meeting, I'm Alex Labby, and today we're going to talk about homesteading. What is homesteading, how I homestead, and why I chose to pursue this homestead way of life. Let's start with what is homesteading. Today we have the essential book of homesteading. You never know what you find on the internet these days, so I'm just going to read this from a book. The Homesteading Act of 1862 was the first of several acts created by the United States federal government that gave a qualifying applicant ownership of public land for little to no cost. Settlers were given 160 acres called a homestead if they were at least 21 years old or considered the head of household and pledged to live and farm on the land for a minimum of 5 years, building a home and caring for it during their tenure. Today's definition of homesteading is a lifestyle of self-sufficiency. It is characterized by subsistence agriculture, home preservation of food, and may also involve the small-scale production of textiles, clothing, and craft work for household use or sale. And that's kind of what we're getting into here on the property. So now that we have an idea of what homesteading is, I will do my best to tell you how I am heading toward homesteading. I'm here at the foot of the garden and it's early spring, and to be honest, I haven't done a garden consistently, but we try and do one every year. It takes time to hone in on certain elements of the homestead. The garden's one of them. First few years we had a good garden. Last year we didn't have great luck. We've had the soil tested since then, and my cousin Mike given me a bit of consulting on the garden. We're in high hopes for this next year. I try and put in a few berry bushes or fruit trees every year. We've had a fig tree that's been here for quite some time. I planted some kiwi last year. We put some blueberry bushes in and blackberry bushes, strawberries in last year, and that will continue to grow as time goes on. I think one of the main parts of homesteading is growing your own food. Not only is it healthier to grow your own food, but it is most certainly more satisfying. Honeybees. This is definitely the newest pursuit on the homestead. This is the element that I know the least about, is beekeeping and processing honey. I got really lucky last year, and my dad's friend gave me all the gear I need to process honey. So that is definitely going to be a staple here on the homestead. You can only eat so much honey. So with the surplus of honey, I plan to put it up and slash or sell it. I only have one hive right now. I have a bunch of boxes. I probably could have as many as 10, 15 hives. The plan is to definitely grow this operation, and that's why I want to sell it. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm simply trying to sustain these operations and, best case scenario, grow them, make them better, make them more efficient. And that'll just allow me to spend more time here on the property and really just be more self-sufficient, be more dependable on myself and what I can produce. I got really lucky this year. These bees I'm really excited about. This is the only hive I have right now. I plan to get more queens. I do plan to put out some beekeeping videos, but like I said, this is part of the homestead where I have the least experience. As you can see behind me, we've got a small structure, and that small structure is my home. I built my home with these hands. I had very little help, but I did have some help, and when I had the help, I needed the help. I chose to go small because my resources were limited, and it also allows you to not have to work your fingers down to the bone just to afford a house payment. One of my big goals was to kind of keep monthly costs down the best I can. There's nothing wrong with wanting a big house or a nice house, but this fit what I wanted. I mean, what more do you really need than a place to lay your head out of the elements? I guess you need to use a bathroom and you need to be able to cook. So I did add a kitchen on, and you can check the tiny house tour here. Another way how I'm heading toward homesteading is My chickens. My chickens are a big staple in this pursuit. For one, it's my main source of protein, and they're laying about a dozen to 15 eggs a day. I do plan to put up a lot of these eggs in the form of pickling. I plan to pickle these eggs. So that'll be another avenue of income for the homestead. And again, I'm simply trying to sustain these operations. That'll cover the cost of feed and coop upgrades, scratch grain, yada yada. Much like the bees, the chickens pull their weight. They do a lot of work around here with the compost system I have set up. You can see more about that and my chicken coop tour up here. And they're just kind of fun to have around. As we all know, in today's world, we need to have some sort of income. You know, you can grow all your own food you want or go out and harvest it in the wild. But at the end of the day, the property tax is going to need to be paid. Some utility bill is going to have to be paid. It seems like there's always going to be at least one bill, taxes. Phone bill, you have a phone, you need to pay your phone bill. So I have been fortunate enough to practice my craft at Saha, and it is about an hour commute from the property. I am able to work in one of the best equipped shops that I believe to be in the Southeast and build some of the best stuff that I've ever built. I'm very fortunate to be in that position. Even though that's my primary source of income, working for somebody else right now, the idea is this will take time, I know, to eventually have this generating enough income to where I can spend more time here. The plan is to eventually operate out of my wood shop and produce wood stuffs out of here and be able to sustain myself on that. With that and the pickled operation and the honey, I think that is definitely possible. And like I said, I'm not trying to get rich here. I'm simply just trying to pay the bills and maybe upgrade some of these operations to where they can be more efficient and we can put more product out locally. So this year I had to be realistic with what I can get done in my shop because it is a smaller wood shop. So I decided to hone in on some cutting boards, specifically end grain cutting boards. I also really enjoy it. I really do enjoy. There's nothing more satisfying. I mean, making a cutting board, you know, you just take these pieces of wood. A lot of times I try to utilize scrap wood for my cutting boards. It's still high quality wood, it's just smaller pieces that we weren't able to make furniture out of at Saha. And to turn it into something that someone can use and the whole family can enjoy it, it's really going to be something special, I think. That's going to be my primary source of income, or that's the plan, and that's where I'm going to be spending a majority of the time focusing on, you know, bringing that money in, baby. You can check out a more detailed tour of the wood shop here. We really got some cool things coming y'all's way. I'm really excited that I'm beginning to share my way of life with you guys because, I mean, it just can be a source of inspiration for someone who's looking into it, or entertainment, or I don't know how much information I'm gonna be able to give you. Just remember, I am learning too. So I'm no expert on any of this. I simply am just learning as I go. And with these videos, I hope to form some sort of community where we can share ideas and learn and grow from our experiences and are able to apply them in our pursuits. So here we are. Why? Why do I homestead? It really boils down to three things: food, finances, and freedom. Okay? I really think that growing your own food is one of the healthiest ways to attain food. Growing your own food and knowing what goes into the soil and how the food is processed is definitely an advantage versus going to the grocery store. If you've ever grown food, you know how hard it would be to grow on a big scale with quality control. Anything can go wrong, so the stuff that they spray on food is probably really not good. I'm not completely self-sufficient, but that is my goal. The second reason, finances. My costs are low. My overhead is really low. That allows me more freedom to do the things that I want to do. Finances, food, freedom. Okay? It's all revolved around health, wellness, and way of life. We don't get to choose our hands, but we get to choose how we play them. If you like today's video, don't forget to comment down below, like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know how it could be better. I'll work on it, alright? This shit is hard, I'm telling you. I didn't know I couldn't talk. I know what I'm thinking, but I don't know how to put it into words.